everyone, and welcome to another Sims 3 speed build. Today we are doing a collab with British designer. Be sure to check out his channel as well. He does other Sims 3 speed builds, and he will also be doing the furnishing part of this house here. So basically what we're doing, I had thought about doing a design that kind of was based off of the German architecture. And it's a small cottage. I ended up calling it Chestnut Cottage because I used some of the chestnut trees. I really wasn't sure exactly what to call this house exactly, so I just kind of named it after some of the trees I put in the yard. I thought that kind of seemed to suit it well. This house was built on a diagonal. I thought that just kind of gave it a different type of look, and I really liked it. And the only thing I was having a problem with on the diagonal was, for some reason, the roof kept wanting to cut out right there. As you can see, that lower part right there just kept on wanting to get cut out. So I went ahead and made it a fireplace or a chimney right there. So that's kind of how the chimney came into play. But yeah, it's, like I said, done completely on a diagonal. So the building of that is a little bit trickier. The diagonal roofing, I think, is more temperamental, I guess you could say, than when you're building base, having it straight and everything. But I think being on a diagonal just gives it a different look. It doesn't look the same as all the rest. So, but the overhangs, I've noticed, almost seem like they hang over more, so that's why I went through and just continued the roofing all the way down the wall, just to kind of give it a more finished look. And what I had in mind with this house was having the staircase right here going diagonally into the covered porch here. And of course, in order to have your stairs to be diagonal like that, that is mainly why I have the house on a diagonal. Because this was the first thing I thought of, was the staircase going to the porch like that, and the only way I could do that was building on a diagonal. So that's how that came across. Here I kind of fought a little bit with this chimney because of course it's not exactly in line with the walls and everything to go up into the chimney of where I put that chimney there in the roof. So we had to do a lot of finagling with it, moving it around here and there, and just trying to get it to place right. Because whenever I do a chimney, I would prefer to have the actual fireplace there. That way, if you got a fire going and stuff, you actually have smoke coming out of it. Just seems a bit more realistic. So yeah, I really wanted to make sure that fireplace was placed in the proper spot. That way the chimney went through properly. And so here's where we're choosing the wallpapers for the outside. And I thought I'd do a few different directions here and there on the corners, just for like a small accent, a little bit different. And then we did stone around the bottom. So since a lot of I had looked up some German architecture, so I had a little bit of an idea of what to go by, and they used a lot of stone on the first floor, and a lot of the houses actually were all stone. So this is kind of the design I had chose to go with, where it was stone on the bottom and the wood planks and stuff on top. So that's where we got the idea for that. So just kind of pick out the roof that I thought might go best with it. Of course, they don't have the same kind of tiles and stuff. A lot of them houses, I noticed, they even seem to have like the clay tile type of roofing too, but we don't have that style that I seen anyway, at least that would look good. So they used a lot of flower boxes, I saw, as well. So we added some of the windows with flower boxes, and they used a lot of shutters. So I wanted to make sure I incorporated as much of what I saw and the several pictures that I had looked up and seen into this house. So definitely plenty of flower boxes and shutters to go along with the style. So, and here I'm just kind of adding some wall. It just seemed to look a little bit better, and then I was still trying to decide what I wanted to do on the porch part or the deck area in the back. I wasn't really too sure if I just wanted to put some beams in there or what I wanted to do. So I ended up filling it all in with a wall and making it look like a big concrete base or a brick foundation right there, and it definitely seems to look better that way. So that's what I chose. We're just recoloring the deck here to go along with the color scheme of the house. And this was a pretty quick build. Usually the building aspect of a house really doesn't take me that long. It's actually the decorating portion that usually is what takes me, seems like it takes a really long time. But basically with this collab, what we decided to go with, instead of we decided to do like a house swap. So we each built a house and chose the theme for it. So I built him a house that is kind of in the German style, and put it on a diagonal for a little bit of a challenge for him, and then he's supposed to try to design the inside, furnish it, at least try to keep it in the same style. And then the one he built for me is more of a modern house, mid-century modern house that I get to decorate. So my challenge will be to try to keep it in the same style as what he chose. So I thought that was kind of fun, each choosing our own styles, and basically seeing if the other one can kind of stay with the same design. So that seems like fun. I just got his, so I'll be working on his probably in the next couple of days, and hopefully we'll have that speed build for his house here. I'm gonna say probably during the week. Very busy this weekend, so we'll see how things go and how much time I have. But so we're just trying to, I was hoping to have been able to put that fireplace inside of a wall, but with it being on the diagonal, it just wasn't wanting to go inside of the wall very well. The wall placement wasn't right. So for now, I'm not sure what he's going to do with that fireplace yet, so I guess we'll see what he ends up choosing for it. Right here I was just trying to fill in the areas that your Sims could not go, and I couldn't put one of the tiles in because of the staircase being right there is wanting to cut out. So I didn't figure that was too big of a deal. When the walls and roof is up, you don't see it anyway. So I'm just going through and darkening all the areas that the Sims are not able to go, and I just think it helps direct your eyes to the areas that the Sims can go, and it's less distracting. So now we're just going to go move on to some of the landscaping. I like the landscaping this time. I tried to incorporate a little bit more of the sand and stuff in there, and because a lot of the pictures that I saw, they didn't have, at least the ones I seen anyway, didn't have a lot in the way of bricks and stones and stuff like that. It was actually a lot of dirt pathways. So I mean, maybe, I'm sure that maybe there are others maybe that they do, but just from the few pictures, I didn't go through looking at, hundreds of them. I just looked at a couple of them. And the few that I saw, that's just kind of what they had, was a bunch of dirt pathways. And so I kind of kept with it. We do some landscaping. I use some flowers that I don't think I've ever used these before. I used a lot of the lilacs, and I can't think now what that big orange flower thing was now that I think about it. But we did use a lot of the lilacs, and I put in a ground cover that kind of looked like it was creeping out from underneath the rocks and in between and hanging over, and thought that looked kind of nice. And so here just adding some more of the plants, and I think they looked nice, and added some of the white flowers to hang over, and and then, I think the landscaping turned out pretty good. I didn't want to do a lot of landscaping, because this house would be kind of more on your basic, landscaping type. It would be kind of probably positioned somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and they probably wouldn't have a whole ton, I wouldn't think, probably of landscaping anyway. So, but I wanted to put a little bit of a pond back there, but I didn't want to do too much with it. Most of the time ponds aren't, they do have, some pebbles and certain stones around them, but they wouldn't have gigantic, really big rocks. So I didn't want to put a whole bunch of those. But I did try to, make it kind of look like the dirt underneath it was wet from the water and darker, and some lighter sands that maybe are a little bit more dry and things like that. So just going around and finishing up a little bit more terrain, painting underneath the trees, and just doing some final touching, checking, seeing if there's anything more that I want to do. But we're coming up to the screenshots here, so thank you for watching. Be sure to check out his channel and see all his speed builds that he does, and to see the furnishing, of course, of this house. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.